Irish winner, and that would be 2 Irish winners. And apart from Istabrack, they reckon they've got a banker in the first in the shape of His Song. Now, His Song, I've never seen him before in the flesh, but he absolutely dwarfs his 29 rivals here in the pre-parade ring who are walking round for the Citroen Supreme Novices Hurdles. He's massive, but if the pressure's on him, he certainly doesn't show it. He is so relaxed. Anyway, he won his first 3 races in Ireland before finishing second to Istabrack in the AIG Europe Champion Hurdle at Leopardstown. If he wins, that's a boost to Istabrack, but if he loses, well, that might sow a few seeds of doubt about the Champion Hurdle favourite. One thing's for sure, His Song is definitely the form horse to win the first for Ireland.
Citroen-sponsored Supreme Novices Hurdle, 30 runners, 8 flights of hurdle, just over 2 miles to run. Graham Good with the list.
And there are the 30 of them. Amberley has 40-1, Conor O'Dwyer. Blinkard, archive footage, 10-1. Richard Dunwoody, Benetton, 50-1, Paul Holly. Possible front runner here in Charming Admiral, Blinkard, 100-1, John Supple rides that. Circus Star is Blinkard for the first time today, Richard Johnson's mount at 33-1. Fabulona rank outside at 200-1 for the German rider Dirk Furman. Faru, 100-1, Jimmy McCarthy. This horse hasn't seen a hurdle over here in public yet. Fancy that. Foundry Lane, 11-1, Peter Niven rides, number 8 on the card. Gatterflax is number 9, that's 14-1 with Carl Llewellyn. General Assembly at 200-1, Mark Richards. Ginger Fox, 25-1 for Jenny Pittman OBE, ridden by Rodney Farrant. His Song, the 4-1 favourite, Richard Hughes, sitting pretty with half a mile to go, no doubt. King Cato, 20-1, Mick Fitzgerald. Native Estates, 10-1, Paul Carberry. Lunar Star, 33-1, Charlie Swan. Percy Crow, 66-1, Andrew Thornton, jockey having his best season by far. Polar Prospect, 100-1, Glenn Tormey. Cairns, 14-1, Norman Williamson. Royal Scimitar, 66-1, Tony Dobbin. Salil, 100-1, Jason Titley. Serendipity is ridden by Timmy Murphy, that's a 66-1 shot. Charreur, 33-1, John Kavanagh. And Arm, 50-1, Tommy Tracy. Wahiba Sands, 11-1, champion jockey, Tony McCoy. Zaranaska, 10-1, welcome back Adrian Maguire. French Ballerina, 10-1, major player Graham Bradley. Keen Dancer, 100-1, Jonathan Lower. Kilbride Lad, 66-1, Robert Thornton. And there's more. Manolino, 66-1, who's Blinkard Manolino, Chris Maud rides. And Really Chuff, 33-1, the mount of David Casey. 30-1 in lineup, 2 miles the trip. They'll be asking for elbow room all the way round.
Number 12 is the number the Irish will be on. Richard Dunwoody on His Song, winner of a 3-mile point-to-point, his first competitive race. Second last time to Istabrack, but he also has real talent over hurdles, and his own right winning the IAWF hurdle at 27th of December against unarmed French Ballerina at Leopardstown.
On the outside is His Song. In behind them, unarmed, going well for Tommy Tracy, and Walk On Mix getting into it. On the outside, His Song from French Ballerina as they jump the second last and run towards the turn in. His Song, the leader, from unarmed. Walk On Mix. French Ballerina made a bit of a mess of the second last in his weekend, and then Rit Dove as they run the turn. His Song tracked by unarmed, and they've gone away from Walk On Mix as they come towards the final flight. His Song in the lead, but unarmed travelling strongly on the far side under Tommy Tracy. They're clear from French Ballerina, who's trying to rally. Walk On Mix in 4th place as they come to the final flight. His Song, unarmed on the far side, going the better of the pair. The jump could decide it as they come to the last in the IAWS Novices Hurl. His Song and unarmed on the far side, and racing into the closing stages. His Song finding more unarmed. Doesn't find anything at all coming under pressure, and up towards the line it's His Song with unarmed trying to fight back on the far side, but His Song is going to complete a hat-trick over hurls in the colours of David Lloyd. Wins it for the Mouse Morris stable under Richard Hughes. Second is unarmed, French Ballerina 3.
There is His Song, this favourite, in the blue and red jacket worn by Richard Hughes as the runners begin the walkout towards the racecourse. Several of them already well on their way for this first race of the festival. Following is Charming Admiral in the black, Wahiba Sands in red, and then the dark blue French Ballerina. Benetton, the grey, and then Faru in a black cap. Salil in similar colours behind. General Assembly, the pale blue sleeves just walking through. Serendipity in the blue. Manolino in black and white. And there's in the JP McManus colours, Lunar Star. Zaralaska, a big player there, just going out a picture to the left. Amberley House in a big sheepskin noseband. And then in the hoop jackets, Native Estates, one of the Irish runners. Polar Prospect in red and green diamonds. A grey is Fabulon. in black and white. And now Circus Star, who ran so well last year in the Triumph Hurdle, white with orange stars, Richard Johnson. Followed then by Really Chuffed, yet another of the Irish runners, in a green jacket with pink sleeves. Number 30 on the card, Really Chuffed. Runners beginning to assemble down at the starting area. Favourite is His Song, 4-1 from 7-2. 10-1 Bar the One, 10-1 French Ballerina, Zaralaska and Archive Footage, and 10-1 Native Estates. At 11s then Wahiba Sands and Foundry Lane, Gap Flax at 14-1. Cairns also at 14s, King Cato at 20-1 chance. On 25s is Jenny's Representative, Ginger Fox, 33s then Circus Star, Una's Star and Charur. Also 33s is Really Chuffed, and at 40-1 is Amberley House. 50s Benetton and Unarmed, and then at 66-1 Percy Crow, Royal Scimitar, Serendipity, Kilbride Lad and Manolino, and Charming Admiral at 100-1. Faru also 100s, along with Polar Prospect, Salil and Keen Dancer, and rank outsiders Fabulon and General Assembly, both at 200-1.
The eye catchers now, the team's pick in the paddock, going to the start, and in the ring, Charur in the paddock, going down Foundry Lane and King Cato, and His Song is a loser in the ring. And I must say, looking at his race at Leopardstown on very heavy ground, he's a much slower horse than you normally expect to win a race like this. Obviously lots of talent, but he doesn't gallop as a fast horse. That's a personal opinion. Opinions now from men who've won championships here in John Frankham, and Jim McGrath's with him. John, your feelings on His Song first.
Oh, lovely big horse, this Brough, but there are 30 runners, and there's not one here you wouldn't like to take home. The Irish successful in this race 30 times so far, 7 representatives this afternoon. Richard Hughes, much better known as a flat jockey, been riding in Hong Kong early part of the winter. He's got the mount on this horse owned by David Lloyd, who of course had so much success with Soundman. Great big individual, and of course that run last time behind Istrabak is the one that's in everybody's minds. Big imposing sort, Jim. Is he taking your eye?
Oh yeah, he really fills the eye, but I fully agree with Brough's comment that if he can manage to win round here, he really is a hell of a prospect for the future. His whole gait in the paddock is that, to me, more of a stayer, and you just wonder whether he'll have the basic toe. With 30 runners in here, it goes without saying how competitive it is, and it's worth pointing out that 1 or 2 hot-priced ones have bitten the dust in recent years, and indeed 3 of the last 5 winners of this have started at 25-1 or bigger. Here's one of the best flat race performers, Zaralaska, who many racing fans will know from scintillating victories last summer on really firm ground. Partnered by Adrian Maguire, who you heard earlier, is really looking forward to being back in the festival action. John, very impressive first time at Ascot. Thoroughly satisfactory at Newbury last time, but very disappointing in between.
Yeah, if you take those couple of blots out, then he's got every chance. But I know David Nicholson said there was no actual reason ever came through for his disappointment on a couple of occasions. One of a couple of decent flat horses that's gone and taken successfully to hurdles. Wahiba Sands is another one, and of course, as His Song will be a pointer to Istrabak's chances later on in the afternoon in the champion hurdle. So this horse, Wahiba Sands, will be a pointer to, I'm supposing. Didn't look fully wound up to me when he ran at Wincanton. Wouldn't be his course, a little bit too sharp, better ground.
Yeah, he's in. I think this race will suit him much better than Wincanton as well. Wincanton, very sharp track, small field. This horse pulls very hard. He races with his mouth open. It's not easy for a jockey to settle him early on. In this big field, this horse, who jumps very well, should be able to relax properly early on.
Quite important that you want a horse that travels well in this race. Only 10 hurdles wide at the first, 30 runners. You need something that's going to carry you, take you there. And French Ballerina, who we just saw in that video along with His Song, is a filly. I'm not totally sure that she's going to get the trip here. Looked like she was running all over the horse of Mouse Morris's going to the second last and then just petered out. Good flat form.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I mean, your description of the event, yes, is true enough, but it was her first attempt over hurdles, and she duly followed up. I couldn't see any problems with her staying. But we don't have to worry about the ifs and buts too much longer. 30 of them facing the starter. For the opener, let's hear the roar as the tapes go up for the first here at Cheltenham, 98.
overall knows. So Charming Admiral taking a turn on the outside on extreme left. That is Zaralaska on the extreme left. French Ballerina on the extreme left. His song is in behind horses, and they're all been asked to take a turn. Serendipity, the blue jacket out the back, is taking a turn. Gatflax taking a turn. His song taking a turn. There's Simon Moran, the starter. 31 as the dispatch over this 2-mile test. Coming out wide here, Percy Crow, but the starter's still not satisfied.
No, sir.
His song just trying to get into a position.
No, sir.
The green jacket Charreur facing the wrong way. Almost a national start, isn't it? That's it. Under orders, and they're away. With through on the inside, Fabulon showing very, very well early on at the first Gatflax. They're at the first now. French Ballerina on the extreme left, the horse with a big white face is showing well. Serendipity up with a pace. And also running very fast early on is Keen Dancer, running very keen indeed. And with a bright orange cap on the left, unarmed in the firing line. On this very long run to the second flight of hers, we've got Keen Dancer and really chuffed with unarmed out wide. Through on the inside is Manolino, the white blinkers showing prominently. The very pale pink Gatflax in a good position. His song sits about 7th or 8th. French Ballerina the outside. Fabulon behind that. Tucked on the inside of Fabulon is Amberley House. 4 in line as they take the second, over which Serendipity and General Assembly with the back markers in company with Royal Scimitar and Kilbride Lad. Swinging left-handed then, and it's really chuffed who leads as they make the run towards the back stretch. Keen Dancer is in second, unarmed third, Manolino 4, Gatflax 5, French Ballerina 6. His song and Wahiba Sands keeping each other company. With these comes Ginger Fox, and behind Ginger Fox is Zaralaska the outside, Circus Star behind these, and then Polar Prospect. Towards the back of both Faroux and Sally in the same ownership. Plum last, General Assembly. Nearer last and first as they race down the hill is Charreur.
And really chuffed takes them along then from Keen Dancer. His song well placed in about 6th or 7th place with Wahiba Sands, and Zaralaska also in the leading bunch as they jump flight number 3. And it's really chuffed in front from Keen Dancer, second unarmed in the orange cap, towards the wide outside French Ballerina. She's very handy. Gatflax in the pink from his song, and then Manolino up the rail from Wahiba Sands, and Zaralaska out wide of these from Benetton back in the field as they race towards another. The leading bunch are hunted up by King Cato, but continuing up front, it's still the Irishman, really chuffed. Charreur was a faller back in the field. Keen Dancer disputing the lead over that flight, with right there still French Ballerina and unarmed towards the outside. His song breathing down there next with Gatflax. Wahiba Sands on the rail, Zaralaska right there. Una's Star making headway in the white cap in about 7th or 8th in the colours of J.P. McManus. Followed back in the field then by Benetton as they land over the fight at the top of the hill, and really Chuff made a mistake there as they rise all the time then, and French Ballerina now taking on unarmed for the lead, and these are getting away from the others. His song still there as well as they reach the top of the hill then, and it's unarmed from French Ballerina, these two in front of his song, and Zaralaska not far behind them.
And so they begin the descent then, and the race starts properly. Coming with a strong run is Foundry Lane. John Kavanagh's okay, the faller of Charreur, the horse is okay too. Race down the hill and come towards the third from home in the Supreme Novice Hurdle, at which with the orange cap unarmed, joined by French Ballerina, then comes Foundry Lane. Serendipity is well at the back, so too a lot of the pipe there, looking for his song. The blue jacket, red sleeves travelling well. Una's Star making a great run the outside. Gatflax coming through on the inner in pink, driving at the second from home, and it's French Ballerina that's got it. French Ballerina in the lead to his song, who flattened the flight of hurdles. Coming wide the outside is Una's Star. Listen to the Irish roar. It's French Ballerina kicking on clear by 2 to his song in second place. In third is Una's Star. That's an Irish 1-2. Staying on in the pink, the best English hope is Gatflax. They're at the final flight now, and French Ballerina has landed well. Strains of Montalado here as he come up towards the line in the Citroen Supreme Novice Hurdle, because this goes to French Ballerina. Graham Bradley booting her home, clear by 6 to 8 lengths. His song a banker in second place. Back in third is Gatflax, but it's French Ballerina to his song Gatflax. Then Una's Star, Amberley House, Benetton, followed by Native Estates, and then after this one came Polar Prospect, and behind Polar Prospect was Ginger Fox, and the winner therefore is a great front-running roll here by French Ballerina, who was keen from the top of the hill, came home in extremely good style in the colours of Mr. John Magnier, this number 26 on the card, trained by Pat Flynn. Of course, Montolado landed so many huge coups for that team in the past, but French Ballerina, this Saddler's World mare, has done the job well. Second horse home is number 12 on the card. This is his song, made so many a banker, but sunk by French Ballerina, who really danced home here. Third horse home is number 9, Gatflax, the Nigel Twiston-Davis, Carl Llewellyn combination, the best of the English. But Graham Bradley, smiling from ear to ear, all the teeth are genuine, and he's landed the opener, the Citroen Supreme Novice Hurdle.
Well done to Graham Bradley, and there was me thinking this filly might not get the trip. She hit the front 2 out and absolutely scooted up there. It looked a tight competition beforehand, but as they turn around that bend, as heading for home, there was never going to be anything in it. Bar a little bit of an upset at the last. She came up, I think, a little bit further out than Graham would have liked. Pat Flynn, of course, successful in this race with Montolado a few years ago. The only horse to have won 2 back-to-backs at Cheltenham. He won the year in the bumper.
And Brad, who's as Yorkshire as they come, but actually Lambourne based now, spent a lot of time riding in Ireland over the last 5 or 6 seasons. Very popular over there. This is his 9th Cheltenham festival success. The first of those was back in 1983, some 16 years ago, and you could tell from the pulling up shots then, every one of his colleagues that passed him shook his hand, the esteem which his fellow riders held in him. They work so hard, these lads. Most of the time they're riding for peanuts. Today they earn a few quid and take the limelight, and who can blame them? Full credit to Pat Flynn and a splendid mare. She was a good flat race performer too. A happy start for a lot of people, John, but going to the last, if you backed her, your heart was in your mouth. Explain here what happened for Brad, because she was on the wrong stride, wasn't she? Well,
she was going almost too well, and it's one of those situations you're just praying that you meet this hurdle just on a good stride. She's come along, and Brad's half thinking at this stage of not quite certain what's going to happen. He just says, right, OK, let's have a short one more. No, I'm going to come up. Puts in a really big jump there at the last, and from then on carried the old scoot on up the hill. Smashing filly, this. Good handicapper on the flat. Not much of her.
Her mum was a really good race mare, firstly in Germany and then latterly for Alex Stewart. And I suppose when she went to the covering shed, they didn't have Cheltenham in mind, more likely the Derby or the Oaks. But those who've got her now, that's French Ballerina, that is, will be highly delighted, because if you're Irish and you like horses, there's no better place to win a race.
French Ballerina, one for the girls. The only mare in the race wins at 10 to 1. French Ballerina. It was a 10 to 1 chance with 1 or 2 firms, though Ladbrokes only went 7 to 1 this morning. They ducked it, how right they were. The runner-up, His Song, sent off the 4 to 1 favourite, with Gatflax third at 16 to 1.
Well, the race began to take shape with the result in mind at the top of the hill. Any number in with a chance or within hailing distance of the lead at that point. But John, Graham kicked on here with unarmed. I mean, at the time we didn't discuss it, but do you think he might have gone a bit soon?
No, not at all. I mean, he's done everything spot on. I think the ground here, be interesting to see what the time is. I think the ground's obviously riding as though it's good. They've gone a decent gallop from the outset, and she's travelled particularly well. I don't think for a moment she's a filly that wants really bottomless ground, and she's jumped so well. She's jumped really quickly. She's taken Graham there, and chuffed, really chuffed. Took them along a decent gallop for a long way.
Foundry Lane just clipped that.
Foundry Lane, unarmed. His Song, I think that Richard Hughes still thinking that he's going to go down this hill and be able to pick Graham Bradley up. He's only 2 lengths off him. Absolutely perfect position. No excuses at all. Going to this hurdle. See how quick she is, and she's quickly away from them. And His Song in pursuit now. Now, as you can see, the point where where Richard Hughes knows that he's going to be struggling to get to this mare. She's got her head down and she's going for home.
She's going for home. She's nearly in the unsaddling enclosure now, and there'll be a mighty roar when Brad enters that little arena at the top end of the paddock.
And a very significant time here. This is only a hand timing, but last year's Supreme Leader ran 3:49 for this 2-mile trip. We all said the ground was good to soft. We expected a time around 4 minutes. We've got a hand time here of 3:52. It looks as if it's riding good, not good to soft. It's not a soft ground horse's track by the look of things, and later in the week it might be definitely good.
We lost the camera. We're coming back on.
Okay.
Brad talking to John Magnier, and Graham will be forever associated, of course, with Michael Dickinson's famous first 5 home in the Gold Cup, and he rode the winner of that race on Bregaun. That was also in 1983, the race and the horse that most people associate with him, but other star rides here include Curlyman in the Grand Annual, Kildimo in the Sun Alliance, Savon de Loire in the Sun Alliance Hurdle. He's been there, seen it, done it, and he's had a great season so far with Sunny Bay and Senya El Batruti.
Graham, 16 years since that festival experience in Bregaun. Any sweeter?
Well, that was a highlight, was Bregaun, obviously. You can't beat that. But that was a great pleasure, an unbelievable pleasure to ride an Irish winner at Cheltenham. I mean, it's mind-boggling. I'm very, very proud.
And she really went and whizzed it.
She went on heavy ground at Navan on Nace, I can't remember, and the governor said she'd be a stone better on better ground. And I had a word with Kevin Manning at Stratford yesterday, and he said she won a decent race on fast ground. When I was in the third last thing, it was just frightening how well I was going, but I did it beautifully.
Not frightening anymore.
That's the way to begin the festival, with a winner, and there'll be plenty of people who'll have good to see that John Cabin was back in there after his fall on Chareux, but plenty of people have backed the Irish to have more than 6 winners here. 7 is the best that they've ever done in any season, but 1 out of 1 so far. Plenty more to come this afternoon.
Come and join us in here, because it's not easy to get the winning trainer, but we've got Pat Flynn, who's talking to the press. Pat, many congratulations.
Thank you very much.
5 years on from Montelado.
Yes.
How sweet is this?
Very, 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 very sweet. It just confirms my belief in the filly. I always thought she was brilliant, and just hoping she wouldn't make a mistake today. And Brad said, like, it's frightening how good she was, how well she was coming down the hill. She was really well.
Yeah. Now, I understand that she came into season just a few days ago. I mean, is there any truth in this?
Yeah, she was going out of season during the week.
Yeah.
I was just hoping she would be going out for the race.
Yes. How worried were you, though, when she came into season?
I was concerned, I was, because she usually stays in season for a long time. But lucky enough, she went out just for the race.
Now, I talked to Mouse Morrison. He said no excuses, we're beaten by a better horse, but you finished behind that first time.
Yes, a soft ground and first run over hurdle, so she obviously improved.
Mm-hmm. And is this the best St. Patrick's Day you've had?
This is the best one, and I hope it's the best of many.
Well done, Pat.
Thank you very much.
That it will be a big moment to find with no fact. Good enough.
Now the tote returns, the winner paying £9.50 for a win on the tote. Places 2.90, 2.50 and 5.30. Dual forecast £19.20, and the straight forecast £38 and 11 pence, 30 rand.
Welcome back, the crowds here at Cheltenham, and the first trophy of the festival.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's with very great pleasure indeed that we welcome Citroen UK back to the home of National Hunt Racing for their continued sponsorship of this, our first championship race of the 98 festival, the £45,000 Grade 1, the Citroen Supreme Novice Hurdle. And we now extend a very warm welcome indeed to Mr. Mark Raven, the Public Affairs Director for Citroen UK, who has kindly joined us to present the race trophy. Well, a great start on St. Patrick's Day for the Irish. Well done to French Ballerina. Here to receive the trophy on behalf of the winning owner, Mrs. John Magnier. Would you please welcome Mrs. Diane Nagel, accompanied by Mr. Magnier. Well done to you both.
And that Royal Ballerina has returned the 10-1 co-second favourite of 4. 10-1 co-second favourite of 4. And one punter at £5,000 each way at it. 50,000 to 5 each way. A handy start to the festival for him. And it was the 31st time that Ireland have won it. And it's the 4th success they've had in the 90s of the tourist attraction Montelado and Desterio. 10 times Vincent O'Brien won this back in the 50s. Horses like Saffron Tartan and Stroller. And they were 1-2 in 95 with tourist attraction and Ventana Canyon, and with Slaney Idle, who beat Ted Walsh on Daring Run in 1980. And they're the first 3 in 79, first 2 in 64, 59, 58, the first 3 in 54. Used to be a great race for the Irish, but 4 times in the 90s they've gone and won it. The only mare in the race, 10-1. Wouldn't you have liked that £50,000 back at 5,000 each way?
Novice Chase, now a race that you could say a bit dull, only having